Oh, goodness. Yeah, good thing there's no video, right?
Yeah.
At least not with that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mason's got a video.
Yeah, okay, so you got all set up? Do
Yes.
you need to have it more?
I have my phone over here that I'm videoing with, so.
Okay, all right, good. All right, so we're gonna do 2 interviews?
2, yes, because
Okay.
technically I was supposed to do 1 co-taught and then 1 individual,
Okay.
but I just
So
will
your
do 2.
co-teacher disappeared?
Well, I was supposed to do it on Tuesday, but I ended up sick on
You were
Tuesday.
sick.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so Abby went ahead then, because you were supposed to be with Abby?
I
you
was
did
supposed to be
somebody
with Emily,
Oh,
and
okay.
she got paired with Abby because I was sick.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Because you never know how you're gonna make those up. Okay, well then I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna be Mrs. Hoover, and Tyler is my 4th grade student.
Okay.
So let's start with Tyler, because that's just kind of what I had in my mind, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine, because
so-
I actually have a lot on him because that was supposed to be my co-taught.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Well, let's do your co-taught then. We'll do that. We'll start with that then.
Okay, let me get. So I very much enjoy having Tyler in my class. I have a little sheet here. Let me make this bigger for you. Let's do it this way. I have a little sheet here just about the things Tyler accomplishes in the classroom. He's a very hard worker. He tries to put his best foot forward on every assignment, and he's very diligent about turning assignments in on time. He keeps a very clean area. He's constantly making sure the classroom is cleaned up, and he's helping his classmates, just very eager to be a part of the class. Testing wise, so our class testing average is an 83% in math, with Tyler's accuracy coming to about 92% on the individualized test. With that being said, he also is having a hard time with managing his frustrations in class. We had an incident the other day of an outbreak. I was not able to instantly assist him with his question as I was helping another student, and he got very upset, and he not yelled at me, but yelled towards me that he needed help right then. And when I asked him if he could wait a second because I was helping another student, he proceeded to crumple up his paper and throw it away. Due to the incident, and he was just very upset at the time, I asked him what his preferred method to calm down was, and he chose to talk with our counselor. So I do have just a little report from her that she kind of sent back to let me know what was going on. She discussed with Tyler about like how he wanted to calm down, what would be best for him, and he asked to go for a walk outside. While on their walk, he mentioned that he's tired of everything being so hard for him and his ability not being good enough for mom and dad. When asked what wasn't good enough, he stated that he tries hard, but his math grade is not an A. I assured Tyler that if he was trying hard to do his best, then that was all he could do. Together, we decided that Tyler would write an apology letter to Ms. O'Brien before returning to class. He did write a letter to me apologizing for the outburst and the behaviors. But I have noticed that his frustrations with his assignment are affecting how he's completing his work. So I was wanting to find a plan with you of ways you would think would be best, like most beneficial to kind of help him manage his frustrations both at school and at home if you guys are seeing the same issue. But overall, like, he is a good student, just needs a little bit of guidance, I feel, in the managing the emotions.
Well, let me kind of fill out the picture as I see it. He's a very driven kid. He has a lot of grit. We don't spend a lot of time nagging, reminding, and that sort of thing. He takes the initiative himself.
Yes.
And so, and I don't know if you realize that he is very accomplished in several areas of his life. He does a lot of different sports and activities, and those things seem to come very easy to him. And I think what he is learning from being in the sports is that typically he sees he sees that teacher as his coach, just like in sports.
Yes.
And in sports, he doesn't go to the coach and say, what do I do? The coach is already on him. The coach is already redirecting him. The coach is already stepping in and saying, do this, do this, do this. And he does then what the coach says. So his modus of operating seems to be that his expectation is that you as teacher are his coach. And you as teacher should be jumping in and redirecting or somehow guiding him. And so the frustration comes when he feels like he's not getting, he doesn't have a communication channel. The channel is not operating, and he doesn't know what to do with that, because he is very driven, and I'm kind of surprised that his math score is not higher than what it is, because it seems like most of the things come very easily to him. He does sports, he does music, he does all of these things, and so, but in all of those things, it's sort of that immediate back and forth between coaches and the players, whatever, and so I think that's a little bit frustrating to him. Is there a particular area that he is struggling with?
It's really just the independent work in math. Like, we do explicit instruction as a whole class, and they are provided, like, if there's a certain algorithm they're supposed to use or whatever, they are provided with their own copy to place in their notes. What I have noticed with Tyler is that he is not comprehending the step-by-step when he's doing it independently. As a class, he participates in the discussion. He will shout out an answer when it's warranted. Like, he does great. So I'm still trying to figure out the divide of when we go from classwork to independent work. And I don't know if he feels like overpressured to complete that, or if it's just like not comprehending in his head. So my next steps in the classroom were going to be more one-on-one work with him to really like double down on his thought process on the independent work. Like, tell me how you're working this. And also,
well, how will you have time to do that how do you have time to give more individual attention to students?
So a lot of the time when they start working independently, I have a bigger desk that I have the 3 to 5 students that do need a little more instruction, because in all areas you do have those students that are lower. I always have them come to my desk so I can be of immediate help to them when necessary. And it's also, we also have MTSS time that I have been working more independently than whole class with students on, come up here and show me each step of the process, to walk me through, like, you teach me how you're doing it.
Well, I'm just wondering then, that on the type of math that you're doing, do you have alternative methodology, or is it like you're using one way of teaching multiplication, long division kinds of things, and that you only have one way of doing those, or do you have other methodology? Maybe he needs an alternative methodology to understand the concept, perhaps, or maybe, just like with sports, when you're not hitting the free throw, then you go and you drill it. So maybe he needs to drill on particular topics.
He has demonstrated understanding of how to complete a problem in his own way. The problem arises when the standards he has to know the standard algorithm for both multiplication and division and complete it in that certain way, and he's not understanding that I have to take this step before I can do this.
So what do you mean algorithm?
The way that it is constructed.
Are you talking about a pattern of steps that have to be followed in a particular order?
Yes.
Well, I guess that's what I'm using the terminology methodology. So I mean the same thing. So I just want to make sure we're on the same page with that. But it seems to me, though, I know how I was taught to do long division and multiplication, and that methodology is no longer being used. In fact, in my opinion, the kids learn backwards because they're learning to do the hundreds column before they do the tens column, before they do the ones column. It seems insane to me. There's also these drawing diagonals and all this kind of stuff. So there's different ways of doing that. But very recently, I saw a methodology on how the Japanese teach it. And I thought, wow, when I had been a child, if someone had used that, maybe I would have understood better. I grew up thinking I couldn't do math, which is not true at all. But that's what I thought, because I couldn't do it exactly like the teacher wanted me to do it.
Yes.
And so I don't want my kid being told that and feeling that they can't do math because they're not doing it your way. And I guess that's my question. Are there other, why is it that it's my way or the highway? It just seems like that, that seems to be a prevalent mentality of teachers in the public school system, and I personally find that a little frustrating, that we can't think outside of the box, yet we want kids to think outside of the box.
So I very much hear your concerns, because it was something that I too struggled with as a child. So what I do is the tips and tricks that I learned growing up and stuff, I always try to introduce those to the students in a way that I'm not exactly like telling them this is how you have to do it. So when we introduce a new method into the classroom, I introduce the way the state would like us to do it. But then there's also like, you can do it this way, you can do it this way. What I have noticed specifically with Tyler is he can complete the problems when he does it in his own way, but his grade is falling behind and his frustrations come out when we have to do it the standard way, if that makes sense.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I don't really see where that's a problem. I mean, I just don't think that kids need to be squeezed into a box that they only do things one way.
I
so
honestly,
I'm not really sure how we'll resolve this because I just don't. I don't even know how to support. I don't know how to support him in doing whatever other than to just entirely rope in his own spirit and beat it out of him. So I'm not really clear what you're suggesting as far as how we resolve this, or how do we both. I mean, because I see it that we got to work as a team.
Yes.
We got to work as a team. So we got to be on the same page. So how do we get on the same page?
I would say our biggest thing with Tyler is I think putting in his head that it doesn't have to be done, just one way. Like, it can be done multiple ways. And if you can't do it one way, that's okay. But we still have to, put our best foot forward and make that attempt. And I think that will also go with figuring out how to manage his frustrations. When he's getting really, really irritated with a problem, what can you do? Take a step back, ask to take a break, ask for help. Just presenting him with those options, I feel would really help him better understand that. And when it comes to testing and stuff, yes, it's important that he knows those standard methods, but as long as he can solve the problem, that shows more than knowing the standard method.
Okay. I'm just thinking, so what are our steps? How do we move forward in a way that's going to be beneficial for him?
I think more small group one-on-one instruction with Tyler will be helpful with a lot of positive talk. So like if he's working on an assignment at my desk, you're doing the right steps. Just, think about what you're doing. Take your time. You're doing the right things.
Is he in a rush to go out to recess? I mean, does math fall right before recess or lunch?
It's really not. He just wants to be... He thinks being the first one done shows that he's the smartest,
Mhm.
which that's not the case. Like, sometimes you really do have to slow down to understand it and
Sure.
complete it correctly. So I think just a lot of the positive talk and encouragement for him will go a long way, from both sides at home as well, and then just kind of reassuring him that, like, it is okay if he can't do it one way, but he can do it another.
Mhm.
Because our main goal is that he knows how to solve these problems, and it doesn't matter which way. That's like our biggest goal for when it comes to mathematics.
Mhm.
So that my current plan is for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to really kind of not like focus on Tyler, but pay some more attention to him and take notes of what works and what doesn't for him, so we can put forth a better plan of these are the things that help him, this is when his frustrations are, this is where our target is for each step.
I wondered if there were any kind of, places where if maybe he's struggling in particular with, 6s and 9s or something like that in some way that, so you haven't seen.
I have not noticed anything
particular
specific.
pattern?
No.
Okay.
The biggest thing is just the step by step. Like, he's not.
It's almost like he's just rushing through.
Yes, like he's not slowing down, identifying each step and performing it correctly.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm not really sure. What, because we don't have a lot of things like that at home. That there's certain steps and steps to completion kind of things.
At this grade level, that is one of the hardest things that really starts to integrate in the schools, is that step-by-step pattern. So it is a new topic, and it is something the students are learning how to handle as a whole. So, like, even on our day-to-day basis, students are given, do this, do this, do this. Just to practice that integration, because it does come up in, day-to-day life when you're cooking or when you have to do something. So it's just part of a skill that's developing overall. Math is just the area that's most affected by it for him.
I think that probably what we need to do, I'm going to lean into that, you're saying that you want to have more one-on-one time with him. So I think we need to check back, not wait until clear into the next semester of parent-teacher conference times. I think that's too much of a gap all the way from September into February. I think we need to have something maybe a month from now to check in to see, are you finding other things, or just what is his progress at that point?
Yes, that was going to be my next topic here. I am going to observe him more closely for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Taking notes, and then the next week, I think it would be ideal to either set up a phone call or an in-person meeting, whatever works best for you, so we can kind of note the areas that is the issue and then make a plan moving forward.
Okay.
Of things both you've noticed at home and that I've noticed at school, because now that it's talked about, there might be certain things you notice that you didn't notice before.
Right.
Same as for me in the classroom. So,
Okay.
I will reach out after
Okay.
the 2 weeks to you
Okay.
to find a time that works best for you
Okay.
guys.
That sounds good.
Do you have any other questions or concerns for me?
No, I think at this point, really, I'm just a little, my mind is kind of spinning with that. I need to more closely observe some of the other dynamics.
And he really is a great kid. I enjoy having him in my class because he is so helpful and he's such a good friend. I just want to figure this out to better help him, because I can tell it's taking a toll on him himself.
Sure.
And I think,
Well, and those negative kind of things tend to spiral.
yes.
So.
And I do, you mentioning the sports and the coaching aspect, I do think that'll help me in my approach to him. So I will definitely be kind of using that more with him, just to make sure that we can kind of avoid these things more often.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay. Well, I appreciate you talking to me about it, because I was a little curious, and what I saw, the B- in math coming up, because he he has plans for his life. We have plans for his life, and I don't want him to get derailed.
He has a lot of potential, and I think
Mhm.
just taking these steps to get him there will make a huge difference in his. He has a lot of room for growth this year, and I really see that we can make it there.
Good. Okay. Well, I appreciate you meeting early in
Yes.
the year too.
Yes.
So we can, because sometimes this stuff just doesn't even come onto our radar till the end of the school year or halfway through the year, and
Yes.
then there's very little time for any kind of corrective action.
Yes.
So.
And that's what I do want him to reach his highest potential in my
Mhm.
class. So working with you guys is going to be a bigger priority for me right now, so we can get Tyler on the right track.
Mhm. Okay. Well, I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
I don't think there's anything else.